Hello, my friends. Happy belated Merry Christmas to all of you. We are just a couple of days away from the new year, and I'm thrilled to be back here on Instagram Live with all of you. Hello, hello, blessings. And I pray that you were all spending some amazing time with your loved ones, letting go of everything and just enjoying yourselves and loving life. So, in this video, I have been privy to some conversations that some people have shared with me regarding their desires, health desires, New Year resolutions. And let me just say hi to all of you here. Hello, Rachel. Happy New Year to you. Wishing you all the best as well, beautiful soul. Thank you. Hola, Gerson. ¿Cómo estás? Un abrazo. Hello, Serena. Hello, Nabi. Hello, Nabia Guayo. Hello to all of you. I'm so happy to be here with you. And okay, I want this to continue to be definitely an interactive type of video. I want you guys to please share your questions, share your comments. I love to have these to be so interactive. So please, and know that I humbly will do everything in my power to answer your questions to the best of my knowledge, and ask now for forgiveness if I make any errors in sharing information with you here today. So I've been in conversation with some people that have shared with me their desires for the new year as far as health is concerned. Their desires being that they wish to live not only healthier, but figure out ways on how they can extend their lifespan, to live a healthier life by extending their longevity. And that's what I'm here to share with all of you today. So let's talk about the article that I actually published called Longevity, Youth, and Health, a Natural Approach. So I'll be sharing some of the research that I have there with all of you, so that we can address this and I can answer your questions and be able to give you some tips on what we can do to live longer. Okay, let's talk about some goal setting here and how we need to start today, start planting those seeds now, so that once the energy of this new year comes in, specifically the Lunar New Year celebration, that's when there truly is that completed energy shift. However, it already began in the winter solstice of December 21st, and I know that all of you are somewhat feeling it. You're feeling a lot of weight being lifted off of you. You're feeling kind of like a more sense of peace. And that's just the energy of the year that we're coming into, that I'm so glad that we're shifting into, because we began the beginning of this year, 2020, as the beginning of a new 60-year cycle. And for those of you that saw the video I made way back in January of this year, I said it, I mentioned it, that it would be a year of changes for the entire world. So moving on, a grand rise to you, Lex Kelly. Hello, blessings. And I'm so happy that all of you are just coming in here, so happy. And I'll give people more time to also come in, so I don't give all of the nuggets away too quickly. But I will be posting this video on my Instagram as well, so that you can refer to it, and please share it so that people can truly become healthier in this year to come. So we're here to talk about longevity, youth, and health, and looking at it via a natural approach. Now, the main approach that I use with my patients, and that I have been utilizing for over 25 years in practice now going on 26 years, is a time machine method via an universal approach to medicine, so that I can find the root cause of disease, whether it be a physical cause, emotional cause, mental, or even spiritual root cause. And in that way, helping patients to achieve true, profound, epic health. And so let's talk about specifically what we can do to bring about longevity within our lives. So, do you believe that a form of medicine that is well over 5,000 years old could have some glimpse into what our bodies need for longevity, youth, and good health? A medicine, a form of medicine that is well over 5,000 years old, who are we to argue it, right? Traditional medicine, ancient medicine, has much to teach us about maintaining good health in general and slowing down the aging process. That is our focus in this discussion today, slowing down the aging process, because in conversations with people that have been sharing with me what their true desires are for this coming new year, when people really start to kind of reflect on their state of health and such, that's what's been shared to me. So because of their many years of proven results, traditional medicine, ancient medicine, that's why I've become fascinated with it and made it a point to use these approaches within my practice. Now, over the years, I've shared with you guys interviews that I've had with centenarians, people that are living over the age of 100. And my fascination I've shared with all of you when it comes to radical life extension, extending lifespan, focusing on longevity, slowing down aging. So I'm going to share with you what I wrote about within my article that actually points to some of the reasons why people are able to achieve that old age of well over 100 years of age. Now, why do you ask? Do we need to use traditional medicine when there's modern medicine, when there's science, when there's allopathic and conventional medicine out there that's available to us? Why would we go back in time to focus on such an ancient, old approach? Well, the reason is that diseases and ailments that are not cured, and we already know that conventional and Western medicine does not cure disease. It's known as tragic medicine. Now, my belief, and just as I wrote in my book, in the chapter talking about naturopathic approach and conventional medicine, allopathic approach, I believe that both forms of medicine must exist. Mind you, if you're in an accident, yes, do what needs to be done. Get the ambulance. Do what needs to be done. Take the person to the hospital. Do what you have to put that person back together. But that is why it's considered and quoted as tragic medicine, conventional medicine, allopathic medicine. Naturopathic, holistic, natural medicine is known to help the body to cure itself, and is also known to help with disease prevention. So in my belief, both forms, yes, do need to exist. However, the reason that diseases and ailments cannot be cured by Western medicine can be overcome and has been shown to be overcome by traditional medicine successfully over centuries. So let's look at this a bit deeper, shall we? In my article, in my published article, Longevity, Youth, and Health, a Natural Approach, I focus on achieving feelings also of youth, feelings of health, and feelings of longevity naturally, and obviously achieving that in the physical sense. There are many common factors that you've probably heard of that cause one to feel old, to feel aged, and feel unhealthy. Yet, ancient medicine has found the most important cause to why people feel ill, feel old, and feel aged. Can you guess what that is? I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to see if you can, come on, interact with me here and see if you can guess what ancient medicine has found is the most important cause to feeling old, feeling aged, and feeling unhealthy. Let's see. I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to figure it out. Do, 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 do. Okay, no one? Time's up? Okay. Immune deficiency. Write that down, my friends. Immune deficiency has been found to be the most important cause as to why people feel old, feel aged, and feel unhealthy. Now, what exactly does this mean? Okay. Simply put, it means that people have become so weak that they get sick easily and frequently. The Academy of Medical Science has pointed out from recent research that among 25 people over the age of 60 and 20 people between 20 and 30 years old, the ratio of T cells, which are cells that are thymus gland dependent, your thymus gland being here, and determine our immune function, in the group of those over 60 years of age, the T cell count was lower than in the group of people between 20 and 30 years old. Isn't that fascinating? Let me just repeat that. In research that was done by the Academy of Medical Science, it pointed out that among 25 people over the age of 60, and comparing those 25 over the age of 60 with 20 people between the ages of 20 and 30 years old, the ratio of T cells, the cells that are thymus gland dependent, that determine our immune function, in the group of those that were over 60 years of age, the T cell count was lower than those people between 20 and 30 years old. Absolutely fascinating. What does this clearly show, my friends? This clearly shows that there's a link between aging and immune deficiency. Period. So if our immune function is impaired, the survival of the body is in jeopardy. Period. The immune function guards us against any harmful infections so that the body can function normally without disease. If we're to live long and healthy, that's the catch. If we're to live long and healthy, I don't just want to live long and not have a good quality of life. I want to live long, way past the age of 100, with great high quality of life, okay? So if we're to live long and healthy, we must slow down the aging process of our bodies. Yes, now we know that it's impossible to live forever. We know that. Yet there's no question at all that we can slow down the aging process. So which one of you want to live a long life? And who wants to join me to well over 100? Or the number that I pretty much have in my mind, which is 127. I know it may sound crazy, but I have a focus. I have a goal. I'm focused. So understanding that, we must understand the aging process to effectively slow it down. So let's see how we do that. Let's see how we can focus on this aspect here. Immune deficiency, in what traditional medicine teaches us, is associated with the condition of what organs? Let's see. Now, many of you that have been following me for many years, for those of you that are fans of what once was the Michael Baisden show, when I was the resident naturopathic doctor on there for its first 9 years in existence, for 9 years, in those 9 years, I very much focused on the health of the body and talked a lot about these organs as well. Let's see if some of you can remember, some of you that have been following me and have been with me on this journey for quite some time. When I was the resident naturopathic doctor on the Michael Baisden show, that nationally syndicated radio show heard in 46 states, when I was on there for its 9 years as the resident naturopathic doctor, see if you can think back to what I discussed extensively are the main organs of focus for us to have good health in general. The main organs. Let's see if you can guess. Anyone? I want you to be able to write your comments there, right here with me, so that we can have interactive video. Immune deficiency in traditional medicine is associated with the condition of the kidneys. Yes, my friends, the kidneys. Now, you would say, how is that? And hello again to all of you coming in here. Great guess, One Love CPR. Great guess, Hootie as well. However, when we look back, and great, the colon, Hedson says, okay, great guesses. Awesome. However, the answer is the kidneys. Now, why is that? Why is that? Traditional medicine, again, ancient medicine that is well over 5,000 years old. So who are we to argue it, right? What traditional medicine teaches us is that the kidneys are the clocks of the body. Now, if you have been one that sadly has been in the presence of a loved one that was in their last days, that was in their last hours, last moments, then you might know that when the kidneys stop functioning, we know that that person has very little time left. The kidneys are known as the clocks of the body. History points to many scholars and physicians who achieved longevity by eating traditional herbs and tonics that were kidney herbs and tonics. In the book, My Teaching to Posterity, which is a literary classic by a scholar named Yan Zi Tui, in the 6th century, quote, he said, "I've been in the habit of eating kidney tonics throughout my life, which is why I could still read fine print when 70 years old with no gray hair on my head." Listen to that. Even 2 emperors were famous for their longevity. They specifically focused on their firm beliefs of traditional medicine and their regular practice of intaking kidney tonics so that they could rule for many, many years. These emperors were Emperor Jiajing and Emperor Qianlong. Now, apart from a clear understanding of the need to focus on kidney health for immune health, it's also crucial to understand that bringing the right foods and nutrients into the body is a factor that also enhances longevity. We're talking about really wanting to bring in radical life extension, extending lifespan, and bringing longevity to us. So in the other book, Prescription for Acute Diseases, which is a medical book that was published in the 3rd century, it says, and I quote, "Good health is first and foremost to be found in foods." And it's important to understand that when they say foods, they also mean herbs and roots. Herbs and roots are foods, my friends, okay? Continuing with the quote, "Anyone who does not know how to eat the right foods," and again, foods are all roots and herbs, "cannot stay in good health," end quote. In short, when our immune function is deficient, our bodies are not able to resist disease. And if our bodies cannot resist disease, then it cannot survive for long. And since we live in environments that are full of toxins and enemies that can really cause havoc on our bodies, it is severely important to focus on our immune function. To live long, it's necessary to make weak people stronger so that they don't become sick so often, which is the first and essential step to be taken in the pursuit of longevity, youth, and health. Again, I say, who's joining me? 227 years of age, my friends, right? Because, to spend thousands of dollars on expensive creams and procedures here and there, if there's a reason why you are aging quickly, then you have to work with what's within. If you've noticed that you're aging too quickly, if you look older than your age, then there are issues that we need to correct within. There are imbalances we need to correct within with regards to the immune system. And this is one way that you can slow down the aging process. Now, looking young, looking youthful, of course, goes hand in hand with all of this. Premature wrinkles, sagging skin, dry skin, oily skin, things that not only women, but also men, very much so, my male patients have admitted this to me, things that also men are concerned about are very much symptoms that show immediately when the body is not nourished properly. So think of that. If you're having premature wrinkles, if you're having sagging skin before you really should be experiencing that, if you have issues with dry skin, issues with oily skin, all of these are signs of aging that is probably happening way too quickly. And when the body is not nourished properly, these things come about. With body balancing nutrients, these symptoms show improvement dramatically quickly. My elderly patients are very much ones that I bring in kidney tonics and kidney nourishing herbs in their programs. When I have weak patients, when I have patients that are dealing with certain chronic diseases. Now let's stop for a moment and look at this. The average age lifespan of people here in the United States is about 80 years old, all right? And that there are mainly 4 reasons why people die. The first being heart disease, cardiovascular disease. The second, cancer. And the third, neurological, cognitive diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia. And the fourth, accidents. Accidents we can't do anything about. That's the last of the 4, in that order. But let's look at the 3. If we look at heart disease, cardiovascular disease, let's look at high blood pressure. Back about 30 some odd years ago, when I was in my studies of naturopathic medicine to become a naturopathic doctor, our professor made sure that we ingrained in our minds that there is no such thing as high blood pressure, only weak kidneys. Period. Now let's look at this. We know that blood pressure is very much related to heart disease. And the kidneys, again, come up as a focus to be able to correct this sort of imbalance within the body. So we are able to even prevent heart disease, cardiovascular disease by focusing on immune function. And in turn, how do we do that? By specifically having a large focus on the main organs as the kidneys, the clocks of the body, the kidneys. Now let's look at cancer. When our immune system is strong. Now I've shared with you in other videos that when cancer develops within the body, the perfect storm, sadly, has to be happening for cancer to develop within the body. And cancer does not develop overnight. Cancer is something that from the date of diagnosis, we have to look back to 7-10 years to where there was a shift maybe in that person's life, even an emotional shift that caused them to have a breakdown and a deficiency of their immune system. And immune deficiency is very much related to the development of cancer. Again, another way to prevent that second cause of death. Third, neurological, cognitive diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia. We know that the immune system has to be strong to prevent deficiencies of the mind, to prevent brain problems as well. So again, we are able to slow down the aging process, to extend lifespan, to be able to cause radical life extension by focusing specifically on immune health. And how do we also do that? By focusing on the health of the kidneys, using kidney tonics as such. Again, 5,000-year-old ancient medicine that has been written about this. Who are we to argue it, right? Back in those days, the diseases that we're seeing today didn't exist because we're so exposed to so many toxins, so many environmental poisons that really cause havoc on our immune systems. And so people are even more and more sicker today. So if you are to focus on body balancing nutrients, these symptoms show improvement dramatically. And if you're in your late 40s, 50s, my friends, and you're still asked to show ID because they think that you're in your 20s, early 20s and such, then my dears, then something must be going right. Wink, wink, right? Let's keep it that way, my friends. I would love to reach well over the age of 100, feeling vibrant, feeling vital, feeling that I can still take on the world. Now let's look at, for example, the centenarians of the world. I've shared with you guys interviews that I've had in the past of centenarians. I've visited Costa Rica twice, and that is known as one of the 5 blue zones of the world. What we know are 5 zones in the entire planet that have been shown for centuries to have people that just generally, in these 5 areas of the world, that just generally live past the age of 100. Absolutely phenomenal. I am fascinated by the secrets and the reasons why these people in these specific areas of the world live such long lives. And in visiting Costa Rica twice, I've shared with you, and actually shared with you, videos of my interviews with centenarians where they've shared some of their secrets as well. But what we know is that their immune systems are very superior, and this is one of those secrets that helps us to slow down the aging process. Absolutely, genetics definitely also does play a part. However, I am one that just because of being in practice for close to 26 years, Hudi, that I've found that we are not doomed ever to suffer the degenerative diseases of our family members. If you know that you can look around in your realm, look around in your circle, look among the elders in your family, the diseases and the health challenges that they're suffering from, we are able to prevent disease. Most definitely genetics does play an aspect. However, we can bring into the body specific nutrients, focus on specific areas, take our health into our own hands to be able to extend our lifespans. It's just something that we're able to do, and that's been proven, again, in well over 5,000 years of record that have shown us in traditional medicine and ancient medicine. So a wonderful, wonderful question. Thank you. A lot of people have asked that before, and that is wonderful. That's great that you took that into account. So yes, genetics may play a part. However, how many people don't you know? And let's see if someone here has someone that they know. Maybe they know a family member that has lived, a great-grandparent, grandparent, that lived over the age of 100. Maybe they know a friend, a family friend, whose grandfather, great-grandfather, grandmother, great-grandmother, or so on, that lived over the age of 100. Let's look into that. There may be other family members that have died earlier in their life, and that was that one person that did so. Now, what did they do differently? What were they bringing into their bodies, bringing into their systems that helped them to reach that long age, right? And that's what we're looking for, to feel vital. Now, when I was in Costa Rica, the centenarians there are known to, over the age of 100, still be working the fields with a machete in hand, still working day to day, enjoying day-to-day activities, swimming in cold rivers and such. And I mean, just incredible. Having vibrant lives at 100, 103, 104. You can find on my social media platforms the interview that I had with one of those centenarians, one of the latest women that I interviewed. She was, I believe, 103, and vital and strong, slim. That's another factor that you'll find within the people that have very long lifespans, is that they're not overweight. That's something else to take into account. And when the kidneys are functioning properly, all the other metabolic processes within the body tend to fall into place. It's something phenomenal because, again, they're known as the clocks of the body. And immune function is the focus here. We want to focus on the organs that are responsible for immune function. And if there's immune deficiency, then we're not going to live long lives. So thank you. Thank you for that question. And please keep them coming. Wonderful. So my friends, the reason for this video here today is because I've been in conversation with people who actually shared with me different desires than what I'm used to hearing in these past going on 26 years in practice, as far as their health and what they desire in the new year. I've actually heard people telling me, I want to know what I need to do to live a long, healthy life. Not something I commonly hear. I've heard lose weight. I've heard, just I want to come off this medication, or I want my blood pressure better. Common things that I've heard over the years. But to hear this year, I want to live a very long, healthy life was new for me. And I love that. Okay. And so it's wonderful for us to be able to share this information here together and talk about this aspect. My friends, I pray that all of this information has helped all of you out. Blessings to all of you. I wish you all of the best in this coming new year. May this new year be one of infinite blessings. Oh, great. We have more questions. Infinite blessings of love, health, and abundance. But we're not done just yet. Let's talk about this. What's your take on a morning coffee? What a great question, Hootie. So I actually wrote an article on pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer was the cause of death of Steve Jobs. Pancreatic cancer was the cause of death of Michael Landon, of Patrick Swayze. And in studies and research, we have found that coffee is one of those things that are a contributor to pancreatic cancer. That's what the research has shown and such. And so when I've actually treated a celebrity's sister who was an RN, and she, before she came to me, actually had her pancreas removed because she developed pancreatic cancer upon coming to me, because she wanted to create balance within her body despite the fact that she no longer had that organ. She came to me after she had that surgery done because of the pancreatic cancer. One of the questions that I did ask her, were you an avid coffee drinker? And she emphatically said yes, various cups a day. So if we look at what nature teaches us, a wonderful question. If we look at what nature teaches us about what it's given us to be able to heal ourselves and to nourish ourselves, we see celery, and celery looks like a bone. And we know that celery is actually good for our structural health, bone health, and even kidney health, right? If we look at a coffee bean, it actually looks like a bit like the shape of a liver, slightly. Okay? And so we know in naturopathic medicine that one of the best liver cleanses is coffee, but not drinking it. Instead, using it as an enema. I know that sounds a bit strange, but it is one of the ways that we're able to help a person that has an overloaded liver, a toxic liver. To do a coffee enema is wonderful for helping the liver out maybe once every 3 months. And it is one of the treatments that I use in chronic fatigue syndrome when I'm working with patients. Hello, beautiful Cali girl. Happy holidays to you, beautiful soul. Happy holidays to you. And thank you, Hootie, for that question. I believe there was another one. Being vegan. A great question as well. So today I see a lot of people as partaking in various different types of diets, keto diets and paleo diets and vegan diets and vegetarian diets. I am most definitely a proponent of vegetarianism. I work with my patients with what they're comfortable with. However, if I'm treating someone that has chronic illnesses like cancer and such, I just know for a fact that eliminating carcasses, and yes, I did say carcasses because I love that shock factor, okay? When you're eating dead animals, you're eating carcasses. Plain and simple. I have to say it that way. I know it sounds a bit on the icky side, and I'm very blunt and direct with all of you because your health is too important for me to beat around the bush, right? But from what my experience has been, to truly help the body do a turnaround and achieve true health and slow down the aging process, when you're bringing into the body putrid meats, obviously carcasses, you're definitely bringing something that is not necessarily going to contribute so much to truly maintaining youthfulness. So let's just keep that factor. However, I work with my patients in whatever makes them comfortable, and I work with what I can, but I do have to advocate vegetarianism. So that's just not eating dead animals. No killing involved. Okay. As far as all these other diets, I can't comment on them in a way that would either say positive or negative on them. What I can tell you is, let me go back in time with you. If you remember the Atkins diet, obviously I've been in practice going on 26 years, so let's go back in time. And in looking at the Atkins diet, which was a diet where one had to intake high fats, high fats, high fats. At that time, when the Atkins diet was all the rave, I had patients coming into my office in their 30s, late 20s, with bad cholesterol, high cholesterol levels in the 300s, suffering from heart palpitations, having issues with severe acne on their back, acne on the upper arms, and acne on the thighs, and other imbalances. Women that were having severe issues with hormonal imbalance and having issues with their period, because again, all they were eating were carcasses, eating meat and carcasses, and just cheese and a lot of butter and things of that sort. So going back in time to that diet, which really pretty much, quote unquote, doesn't exist anymore, right? That people don't really follow that. More, today the focus is on things as paleo and keto and such. I can tell you that though that was not a healthy diet at all. Being that I had people coming in with these types of symptoms when they were on those diets, with severe flaccid skin at such a young age. They lost the weight with severe dark circles under their eyes because they were suffering from adrenal stress and such. So I can't comment on those. Do what feels good to you. However, I do have to state that eating carcasses is not going to promote health. And it's just, I've proven it. From treating patients with cancer for so many years, one of the first things that I have to mention that they must eliminate from the diet is eating dead animals, because abnormal cells feed on that. And so that's my take on those, without speaking positively or negatively on those other diets. I just say that if you're on those diets, and you're achieving your desired weight goals and such, just be wary and do an examination. We naturopathic doctors will do our examinations as we do. I'm a holistic iridologist and such. And check your lipid levels. Okay, check your lipid levels. That's the only thing. Eggs. Good question about eggs. That's part of a vegetarian diet. If we look at, and I'll go a little bit to the spiritual aspect as well, because I do also bring that into my practice, never overstepping boundaries of religion. But if we look at, for example, certain spiritual teachings, I practice Taoism, for those of you that know Bruce Lee, okay, Taoist. I'm a Taoist, just like Bruce Lee, right? And in celebrate Christmas and such. So we believe in the teachings of saints and sages. As long as there's no killing involved, great. When we talk about eggs, the chickens are going to lay them anyway. And so what we view it as that there's no killing involved. For those that are vegan, they definitely have their feelings on anything that comes from an animal. I support that when I have vegan patients as well, absolutely. But if you're going to intake eggs, the best ones to intake are pasture raised eggs. Pasture raised eggs. You want it to be that these are grass-fed chickens you're intaking eggs from, and you want it to be that they're running around in the sunshine free and not caged. Even if the ones that say cage free, the problem is they may not be in cages, but they're together up against each other, and that causes stress. And believe it or not, when you're intaking eggs from an animal, a chicken that is not pasture raised, then you are intaking all of those hormones and even the stress that that animal was undergoing prior to laying that egg. It's just it just is. It's been found that also people are angrier, more stressed when they're intaking animal meats, because the despair and the profound fear and the desperation that that animal feels at the moment of slaughter is supposedly also transmitted within that meat. And we do have to open up our minds to also looking at things from a spiritual aspect, because we're holistic in nature. We're body, mind, and spirit, my friends. So how can we disconnect from that, right? How can we? So I hope that that answers your question. Let me go back. Fish. Gerson, good question. Fish is an animal. It's funny. I've had patients say, well, I don't eat meat, Dr. Julissa, but I eat fish. Well, you do eat meat then. It's a dead animal. So in my statement of saying that I advocate vegetarianism, it's no killing involved. It's just, I've seen how much better my patient's health becomes, specifically if I'm treating chronic disease and such, if I'm treating cancer and certain just diseases, certain specific diseases that they come to me with in general, when we're able to eliminate carcasses from the diet. And I know that sounds like a strong word, but I have to say it the way it is. When we eliminate carcasses from the diet, they're able to achieve a profound healing within their bodies. And I mean, I always tell my patients, give me about a week to 2 weeks and I promise you'll love me. I need say nothing, your body will show us. And so it's just dramatic the way the body, when it's given what it needs or we take away what it doesn't need, how much better they feel, right? So let's see here. I hope I answered that question on eggs. Okay, great. Yes, yes, Hootie, yes, yes. And great, true. All right. Any more questions? I hope that that has helped all of you out in my answering your comments and questions there. Okay. So as I was saying earlier, how I love to have these interactions with you guys. I will be doing them more often. It's just been a bit busy behind the scenes. I'm so happy that in the last 3 months, more people are definitely coming back into the office for those one-on-ones. So beautiful. I'm so happy to just feel that human interaction with my patients. And then, of course, much more telemedicine and telehealth consults. Sometimes I'm with patients up until, consulting via Zoom or phone till about 7, 8, 9 p.m. And it's just because I love to be here for all of you. And also have made sure that my agents are available to all of you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I pay for that, for that service, so that you have a live human voice on the other side of the phone when you call the toll-free 800 number to my agents, because I don't want you to receive a recording. I don't want you to receive another message and so on. I want you to receive true human interaction when you call, and that is exactly what you get once you call the toll-free 800 number that reaches my agents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I had to do that as well because I speak to so many patients from around the world that I just needed it to be able to be something that any time zone can get to and so on. And so I have to make sure that you all have access to that service that way. So yes, question here. What about juice water fasting? Wonderful, wonderful question. Philip, okay. So juice fasting, Love it. I love tea fasting as well. Water fasting, I've found that can make a person feel a bit on the weaker side, but it really depends on the person. Now, the water fasting can be done if it's hot water with lemon. I do recommend that just to bring some sort of a nutrient to the body and something that's going to help to neutralize acidity within the body. That's going to help with digestion and such. So squeezing natural lemon juice, sipping on hot water all day, great. When I'm actually seeing patients in the office, for those of you that are my patients on here right now, you know that I don't eat. I actually fast all day when I'm working with patients in the office. I even offer you the same tea. That's at the same time when I'm due for my fix, you might as well join me and I'll make either guarana tea or whatever it may be, or just give you hot water with some herbal tea bag in it and such. So yes, you can do it in different ways. That way, juice fasting can be done, and if you're going to do it, it would be with using a juicer and juicing organic vegetables or organic fruits. Now, what I don't recommend is to mix fruits and vegetables at the same time. Like, there are a lot of people that, for example, will juice oranges and carrots and things. It's not recommended to combine fruits and vegetables because it causes way too much acidity of the digestive system. So if you're going to do one day all vegetable juices and water, and then the next day fruit juices and water, okay, fine. Maybe do that for 2 days, maybe no more than 3. It depends on the person as well, okay, and depends on what your goal is. I love to give herbal therapies when a person is fasting. Beets are wonderful to incorporate also. So if you're doing a juice fast, I recommend adding a small beet to the juice as well. And if it's a large beet, only half of it, because it can be a bit toxic if you do too much beet juice, but just a bit, because it helps to give good nutrients and gives you energy while you're doing the fasting. So that I love. But be wary about just plain water fasting. You could feel very weak. You could feel a little bit on the weaker side. Depends on the person as well, okay? But in that case, if you wish to do a water fast, you can do hot, warm water. I never recommend cold. Always either room temperature or hot water and warm water, and squeezing a little bit of lemon juice in there will help. Oh, miss you, Cali girl. Love seeing you here once again. Drinking green juice, wonderful. That would be green vegetables, organic if you're going to juice them. So spinach, kale, celery, bring those things in there. You're nourishing the kidneys when you're doing that. That was the whole focus today, right? Adding celery and things like that to that sort of green juice will help immensely. Yes, Julissa, I will definitely post my information. Black seed oil, oregano oil. Love, love, love oregano oil for the immune system as well. Yes, yes, you can use them in small amounts, of course. But yes, wonderful for the immune system and to help stave off infections. Yes, excellent. Great question, Nudie. And what kind of teas do I recommend? Oh, what a great question, too. In my book, for those of you that know my book, The Naturopathic Approach to Fertility, 2 of my favorite teas I mentioned there. And that's because my focus was there on sexual health and reproductive system health, right? Now, for women, and this is white tea, for women, I recommend white tea. Wonderful, magnificent for nourishing the reproductive system. So we're talking about if you're having challenges with your period and such, if you're having issues with ovulation, if you're having issues of the fallopian tubes, and even if you are not menstruating any longer, women, you will still benefit, even in menopause, if you still have your female plumbing there. And I would still recommend you drink it, because if you had a hysterectomy, then you still have breasts, and that's still helping you with as far as hormone balance and such. So white tea I love for women. Guess what? Green tea I love for men. Now, obviously, women can drink green tea too, but I'm just referring to, for example, specific focuses of sexual health. Love the effect of white tea on the reproductive system of a woman. Green tea, great for the reproductive system of the man. But women, obviously, also as well can drink green tea. Here's a tip. We're in the holiday season. People are slightly overeating. New Year's Eve is around the corner, and yes, there might be some very wonderful, extravagant meals. Okay, eat whatever you want on the holidays and New Year's Eve on those specific days. It doesn't mean you're going a month and a half of overeating, okay? But if you're going to have a very large meal, it's a party and so on, have green tea after the meal. It increases your metabolism and you're able to burn calories of what you've eaten. Okay, so that's a nice tip for those that are in a weight loss journey, as I shared with some of my parents. So let's see. How about elderberry? Wonderful. If you go to my website, great question, QBS Tuna. And I love this interaction with you guys. Elderberry, fascinatingly amazing for the immune system. I love it in a certain formula that I also give to kids in a chewable, a gummy, I'm sorry, that I also recommend to my little patients, right? But also great, yes, definitely, for the immune system. I actually have on the first page, the home page of my website, you'll find an article that I share there regarding herbs for the immune system. And you'll find elderberry is one of those that I share information about there. So you can go check that out on my website. Well, thank you for the compliment, Hootie. You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you very much. What kind of green tea? I always would recommend organic. Definitely, organic will always be best. You want to try to diminish the amount of hormones and GMOs, genetically modified organisms you bring into your body, pesticides and such. Anything organic is going to be better. Your place of shopping needs to change, my friends. Don't go to regular supermarkets. Go to natural food markets that actually carry high quality foods. Your body deserves it. And the prices are not expensive. It is comparable to regular supermarkets. So go to places, and no one's paying me to say this. I just want to point this out. But go to Whole Foods. And I would say second to that, go to places like Trader Joe's. These are the places where you're going to find that if you grab a bag of, I don't know, tortilla chips, you're going to get organic tortilla chips. But if you grab a bag of Doritos, you're sitting in front of the TV once you bring them home, and you're done with the whole bag before you know it because of the chemicals and additives that they add on there that cause addiction. But the organic tortilla chips that you eat are so natural and so rich and flavorful that a handful satisfies you because it doesn't have those chemicals in it. And your food will last longer, so you are actually going to save money. And I've actually proved this over time with my patients in 26 years in practice. Let's see. What wonderful questions. You guys are amazing. I love you. Tea for estrogen balance. Again, a great tea, Cali girl. I love white tea. But again, that's one part of what you can do to add to the diet. I always recommend and advocate herbs and roots, which are going to bring in a more concentrated form. Remember, tea is diluted with water, but in a more concentrated form, herbal therapies that help to balance your hormones. Thoughts on chlorella, spirulina? Wonderful. Spirulina is great as an antioxidant as well. Love that. Love that. If you want to intake that, great. I do give that to my patients when I'm also treating patients that are very fatigued and have deficiencies of thyroid issues as well. So yes, I recommend it. Definitely use it. What do I recommend for eye health? Oh, I love a specific herb called Eye Bright. That's what it's called. It's called Eye Bright. And it's very good for macular degeneration and nourishing the optic nerve. So that's a great one to utilize. And if you go to my website and just type in my herbs and supplements website called drjulissa.mynsp.com, and you just type in eyes, the therapies that I use with my patients for eye health, there's a specific formula there for eye health. You'll find that that's a combination that I love to give my patients to correct these types of issues and prevent. If you know in your family there are issues with cataracts and such, then you'll want to bring that in, okay? So let's see, this is the last question I'm going to take. Apple cider vinegar gummies. I don't have experience with them, Hannah. I can't say, but I do love the addition of maybe adding apple cider vinegar, organic of course, to hot water. If someone wants to do, for example, that type of like water fast that someone asked me about earlier, I love if someone adds maybe like a splash to that. Maybe once in a while throughout the day, or if they're doing a water fast for one day, they can do that with warm water and add a splash of apple cider vinegar, but I don't have experience with the gummies. So, repeat the website again. My herbs and supplements website is drjulissa.mynsp.com, and I am going to share this on my IGTV. I will share this as well on my Instagram page, and I'll actually download it so I can also reshare it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. All these social media platforms that my team manages for me and such. So I'm going to have to head out now, but oh my God, I felt so good being with all of you here today, sending you guys so much love. Again, infinite blessings in 2021, and please know that I'm here to empower you to experience an epic health journey now and beyond. Blessings, and I'll talk to you guys in 2021. Bye.